Hello all.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Hello, everyone.
Hello, good evening.
Seems we are meeting after a long time. Hope you recall me. You remember me.
2 weeks.
Yes, of course, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So, so what we did in the previous session? I sent you the slides also, right? Uh, okay, so I hope you all receive my slides. Okay, so after the session, I just send it. Okay. And I think we have talked about some of the fundamentals of AI, right? And that's it. So did we finish that slide? Just help me out for that. Did we finish that slides? If I share, okay, let me share that. Uh, if I share my screen, okay, and then yeah, you can see that. So did we finish all this?
So we did until narrow and general AI.
Narrow at general, right? So that's what I was also thinking
Yes,
that we didn't
ethics
finish.
and the algorithm bias we didn't reach.
Yeah. So yeah, reactive machines and all that. This we did, I think, limited memory and narrow and general AI.
So we didn't do reactive,
Okay.
but we did talk about narrow and generic AI. Reactive, limited theory of mind AI, and ethics and bias we didn't do.
But I think we finished this machine learning, deep learning, and
Yes.
reinforcement, right? So
Yes.
why do we call deep learning as deep learning? Any specific reason? Yeah. So why it is called deep learning?
It's called deep learning because you don't need to give it any, or you don't have to do any engineering. It basically will be able to find the fields that need to be worked upon and automatically generate the artificial intelligence to give the output.
Okay. And that is the reason? Okay.
It makes use of neural networks.
Okay. So this is on technique side and all that, fine. So because it is using neural network, it is called deep learning, right? I would say partially yes. But the reason is the learning paradigm. So in neural networks, we have different layers, right? Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. And when we talk about, this thing, more learning capability, then we increase the layers, right? So we say we are going deep, right? And that is why it is termed as deep learning. So we, with the help of different layers, which is up to us to decide on, we have higher level of learning capacity. Okay, so more layers means more deep, and that's why it is called deep learning. This one. Second is the kind of learning we wanted to have as a part of this. So if you, if you look at image data, right? Primarily, we use something like CNN to learn for the images and all that. In image data, you really require a very high number of parameters to learn what kind of image is this, right? Because in the end, everything is being stored or learned in terms of some numbers. Primarily, I would say specifically matrices, right? So you really need to this decompose the image into very high number of data points in terms of their numbers, scale, and frequency. And then you have to reconstruct it. You learn it and then you can again reconstruct and so on. So this process itself is very tedious as well as very complex. And then you can say, okay, you really need to learn very hard, okay, to understand the pixel level learning, which is then the images and all that, right? And that is why you say, okay, people say, okay, you have to really need to learn very deep. Deep means in terms of what all parameters that represent, right? So, very obvious use cases right now we are seeing which image, recognition real-time basis. So when you move to Digi I mean, your image is being scanned, right? Or any kind of image verification that happens through Aadhaar and all that. So you are actually matching those data points which are being captured as a part of your face with respect to which is being scanned at the terminal. And you have to ensure that if you are there, it should be identifying you. So learning requires very deep kind of identification of all those points. And the false positives should also not happen. That means no other person can be identified as you. So we just do with few data points, then there might be high possibility of you being denied or others being accepted in your name. But if you have too many data points as a part of a face, right, at both micro as well as macro level, then the chances will be very less, right? So that's one. The another example could be your language models. So before transformer, we used to have something called RNNs, recurrent neural networks and all that. And transformer is also similar to that, more complex in terms of the learning process and all that. So they are also just think about the learning requirement. If you give any so this language transformation models have started by Google, right? So they wanted to do something. They wanted to come up with a generic engine which can transform or convert text of one language to another text. It will be machine based, right? So I do not want a translator, and I can seamlessly translate the text of one language to other language. So, and that we do with the help of Google Translate. You can even upload the whole document in the Google Translate freely. Image, it will transfer to any other language which is being listed. There's a couple of, I think 70, 80 languages are listed and so on. Something like Google Lens, where you just take an image and then it will just convert one language to other language and all that. So this were kind of transformation, right? And just think about how much learning might have happened in terms of semantics, grammar, vocab, to understand one language with respect to other language and all that. And that all is being done in the form of training of the documents. So billions of documents are being given, and so that you cover all possible combinations, which will make machine to learn, right? And then there are so many parameters which are there. And the recent development which is being used in large language models in the form of transformers, so they actually have billions of parameters which are tuned and trained, to understand one context and which can be utilized and all that, right? So that's why it is called deep learning. And then reinforcement learning you are very much aware of. So reinforcement learning is nothing but something which is being given as a part of the parameter from the environment, that okay, you learn from the environment. Okay, so you do something and there's a positive or negative feedback, and based on that you learn. Okay, so I think I have already covered the example how how anyone learns, say walking. So it's not like he starts walking in one shot. So sometimes it's just trouble, then he makes some efforts here and there. So he's getting positive or negative feedback from the environment, and then he learns, right? So the learning paradigms are different, huh? You really need to appreciate this. In reinforcement learning, as such, there is no, I would say, function which is being directly used to learn, right? Compared to say deep learning or your other machine learning, right? And so on. Here, it's more on the data centric. So I don't know how it happens, but the data from the environment will tell me whether I am doing right or wrong, right? Compared to developing a model from the data, which is being done in machine learning and deep learning. I get your point. So you wanted to identify a model, a pattern of my face with the help of deep learning. So I got a pattern, right? So this is the pattern of your face. This unique matrix represents your pattern. Rather, in reinforcement, where I am not going to direct identification of the pattern, rather based on what is being given by the environment in terms of whether it is correct or not correct, right? I'm learning it. So philosophy wise, reinforcement learning is kind of learning from the experience, right? And machine learning will be, okay, you learn as a part of the theory first. Okay. So whether you learned Java programming through theory and then started using it, or you have directly started using it from different use cases, and then you are trying to build the theory and so on, right? Now, because it is many times it is not that easy to identify the real patterns, because patterns are so complex, okay, especially in the language models and all that. So let's do the other way around, right? Where I do not understand the pattern, but I know what is right and what is wrong, and accordingly I have been trained, right? And that is why the reinforcement learning kind of thing is more capable in terms of doing high-end tasks and all that, because they do not try to decode the pattern itself. So if you go to any transformer, which is a base engine in any of the GPTs and all that, it doesn't try to learn the pattern, because even if you see it, there are layers of mathematical functions. In each layer, there are multiple functions and there are multiple layers. So what is the pattern you identify? No, there's no pattern. There's all tuning of those parameters. And how that tuning has happened in terms of getting feedback from the environment. Am I doing right? No. Okay, so should I change this parameter? How much? Based on the feedback, it is doing it. And then at some point of time, it will just simply hit. Right? Okay. Now getting into, again, to the different types of AI. So this is on the basis of, this was AI on the basis of, say, learning paradigm, right? But on the basis of functionality, what actually it does, how we classify the AI, right? Now, they are not contradicting each other, but there are different ways of identifying the different types of AI, right? So this is based on the functionality. Okay. So one is reactive machine. So as you know, AI is not something which is just come after the GenAI. GenAI has made it very popular, but AI is always there. The issue will be in terms of what capability it is having, right? So the previous AI were not that much capable. Over a period of time, the capabilities are increasing in terms of learning as well as in terms of the scope. So we have something called reactive machines. So they perform the task based on the current data, and they do not use the past data and all that. So how they actually work, if you look at some of the examples, they're primarily rule based. So somebody who has, come up with some rule with respect to, say, spam filtering. So that rule is being, coded to that particular email server, and that is working as intelligence to it, right? So if some email is being sent to, say, 50 people in one shot, there might be probability of spam, so let me put in spam folder. Okay, these kind of terms are very common as a part of the spam email. If I identify them, and then there's this good degree of confidence with respect to combination of those kind of words, then let me put in a spam folder, right? So this is more on static side, where the learning or rule is being given by the programmer itself, or by the, I would say, the architect itself. By itself they do not learn. Okay, so give me the rule, I will do it. Reactive machines. Okay, even if you look at that IBM ka, that deep blue, right, that was a machine which was playing chess and actually defeated Gary Kasparov at that point of time. And this is all rule based. So they have just feeded all possible rules and combinations, okay, for the chess, and because of that, it was able to, you know, defeat even Gary Kasparov. Rule based. Rule based intelligence. Another example could be, say, right now we are getting some kind of almost all kind of washing machines, where if the water is not there, it will not run. But earlier it was not there, right? So if you run the machine and whether water is not, it will just operate, and it will just damage or tear out that clothes and all that. Right now there are sensors, so there's a sensor reading of the water. If the water reading is above this level, then you run, else do not run. This is what reactive. So you have given a pre-coded rule, okay, and based on that it is performing. The second type of AI will be in this context will be limited memory AI, where the past data is being used to learn from the environment. So most of the AI applications which we are seeing right now, you can say they are coming to the limited memory kind of thing and all that, right? So I will use the data to learn, right? So maybe the self-driving car which are coming up, or self-parking cars and all that. So they have some memory. Not why it is called limited, because it just yeah. Why they're called limited machines? Because some part of the data, not the whole data, is being used and all that, because whole data could be very big, right? So this is one use case of it. And most of our AI right now is kind of limited memory AI, where the patterns are being learned by the program, AI program itself, not given as a kind of static rule. They are more dynamic. Now, the learning dynamicity is related to how much dynamic they will be as a part of the solution, isn't it? So the self-driving car can perform the task because in the environment, because they can learn directly from the environment. Okay, and that's why they can take care of many of the random things as well. Okay, and the third one is something called theory of mind. What is it? So theory of mind is like they're more towards human-like machines. Okay, so when we say humans, so as a part of intelligence, what is there with humans? So they have all those. They can comprehend, they can interpret, they have emotional capabilities, cognitive capabilities, belief systems, right? So if I can make my machines like this, okay, then I'm reaching to the theory of machine mind kind of AI, okay, which is coming up over a period of time. Okay, now do we really require it? That's another question. Do we really want our machines to be emotional or something else? Yes, Mr. Sumit, go ahead.
Sir, ये जो the example of self-driving car, is it the example of both the limited memory and the reactive machines put together?
See, whenever we have a higher level of capability, by default, it will have the previous one. Okay. So limited memory may have some capabilities, or obviously will have some capabilities of the previous generation. So this
So
is
that
successive building up, because we are building in the same layer. So this is functionality wise. All three are functional. This is in increasing order, right? Why? Yeah, please go
Sir,
ahead.
the example that you gave that's on the slide of IBM Deep Blue, I was doing a bit of reading on it. It said that it was kind of a supercomputer and not particularly an AI. So it was a pre AI era in which they fed a lot of scenarios, or they might have fed a lot of chess scenarios into it, and it then was able to defeat the grandmaster then.
Yeah.
So
We are talking the same thing, by the way. Let me explain. You know, AI term is there in from 60s. When Turing said, right? So AI as a umbrella or as a philosophy, think about it. What is AI? Which is intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence, something which is there with humans as a human intelligence. We are trying to mimic that, right? So anything which is having any kind of subjective intelligence, subjective automation. Okay. So we already have automation with us. But why we want AI? What AI will add to the automation? And why I'm discussing this because we may have a project where we can think about all this. So why AI is required, first of all, and what AI can do for us? I will come back to this question again. See, without AI also, we have all those systems which are fully automated, right? But the automation is objective. And that's why we call them as workflow based systems. I get your point? So there's a predefined workflow, and in every node, there will be some decision points for which you have already decided what to do, right? That is called workflow based system, right? If I give an example, again, a very crude example, if you put your luggage for scanning in airport, right? If you talk about that automated machines where you keep your this thing bag on top of that tray and all that, so it passed through a scanner, right? So based on the human in loop, the person who is doing it, he can press one or two buttons, right? Button one, button two. If or either button can be pressed or no button pressed, right? That is also could be seen. That means he is having two options, which has to be manually feed, right? So if you press a button, if he doesn't press a button, it will go through and you can collect the luggage. If he presses that button, which is for exception, then your luggage will be kind of slightly shifted to the next lane, and it will go to the other person who is going to manually check it. Right. Now, this is what workflow based system. Okay. Automation is there. Why? Because based on his button pressing, it is moving either this direction or that direction. Okay. But this is on the basis of predefined rules objectively. 1010. That's it. But whenever we want, and your RPA also comes under this, right? So people are confused. What is RPA? What is AI? How it is coming in? So this robotic process automation, they primarily work on this kind of automated objective workflows, right? Now, what AI can do here? When you wanted to have automation for sure, but you have some very subjective calls to be taken as a part of automation, right? That means something which is being done by humans, which is required a human intervention, if that can be done by a machine, then how you will do it? One is you give some predefined rules, which is being identified by human, okay? And that kind of rules will be followed. Okay, so till the time that rule is not being updated, that will be followed. So that's a reactive machine. Then second is where the subjectivity is being identified by the machine itself, and based on the final outcome or final desired outcome, the machine will take a call. For example, for self-driving car, the desired outcome is that nobody should be hit, or you do not hit any vehicle, or you do not break the rules. For doing so, the decision which is being taken will be done by the machine itself. So there's no human which is helping machine to take a decision other than the writing the code, right? So automation is being taken by the machine itself subjectively, right? So that's kind of limited memory kind of AI. Third is where you wanted to infuse more capability with respect to what humans can do. So comprehension. What do you mean by comprehension? Comprehension is beyond the limited past data. Rather, with a very high scale, I would say, context. Okay, so you can comprehend the entire scenario, not only decode the data. Okay, so your concepts are wide now. So you can connect. Okay, the weather is bad. This match is happening here. Okay, and then this kind of vehicles are here. So you can take a call in terms of making the traffic to be more intelligent, right? And accordingly, you decide on whether we should allow these many people to get inside to this particular area or not, and all those kind of. So this is comprehension, right? So comprehension, the one thing which is there with the comprehension is that the horizon in which you're going to take a call, that is wider. Okay, you can comprehend the things. Then subjective interpretation based on the emotional flux of that particular time or event, right? And then behaving with respect to your belief system and all that. So this is more on the human side. So all of us behave based on our value system. Okay, and that is why we can say most all of us are kind of biased. So how many of you think you are unbiased? Yes, please. How many think you are unbiased? Making a statement that I am unbiased itself is a biased statement. The reason is you are biased because of the learning you have happened. Okay, so you have a belief system, you have your own experiences, you have your thought process. Based on that, you decide this is right or wrong, right? You have your own motivations. Fine, this is subjectivity. Now, if you ask someone, say for example, if you ask any thief whether what he's doing is wrong or right, so he will justify because as per his belief system, right? This is right and this is wrong, right? So we always have some belief system and all that. But whether do we really want that kind of subjectivity for the machines? If not, then why we are doing with all this AI and all that? So when you talk about the product development or product extension, right, which is more on the marketing side and all that, you have to be very clear that what you want from AI. And you can get anything from AI if the capabilities are clear. Okay, so let's think in this way. What is biasness, first of all? Huh? So today I am happy, I will approve your leave. Tomorrow I may not be, I will disapprove. This is subjectivity. Okay, so I may approve leave for Mr. Nitin, not for Mr. Panap. That may happen, the subjectivity. So many times when we really want subjective discretion as a decision making. Okay, so and we have couple of use cases. For example, in judiciary, do you really want in judiciary to have some kind of subjective differentiation?
Yeah.
You want.
What?
Okay, if you do not want, then obviously if you do not want, then there's no need of judge, right? Because rules are quite objective. Their interpretation is very subjective. And that requires situational analysis that, okay, what happened, why happened, and what are the consequences of this particular, particular judgment. Okay, so I cannot quote about one judgment which is being told to me by one of my good friend because it is being getting recorded. But that kind of subjective interventions are being taken many times by the judicial system itself. And it has to be taken. Okay, why? Because the definition of justice has to be justified. If it is only rule based, then you do not require human judges and all that, right? Fine. So theory of mind is having some kind of emotional belief, connect and all that, right? Cognitive capabilities. Fine. So, I mean, I gave the example here, which is very, I would say, elementary example and all that. But yes, do you really want some cars to be more conscious in terms of allowing some people to clear or to cross the road? Yes, maybe, right? So, and that's what people expect also, right? If someone is willing to cross the road, you just give him a path so that he can cross it, right? We will again discuss more on this, right? Next is another
Hi, sir.
way of, yeah, please.
Shivangi this side. So
Ashwin.
morning, I think there has been one circulation regarding, I think somebody gave a prompt to group to create an image of Mr. Modi and Rahul Gandhi to be seen crying, standing next to this recent Air India crash. And there was a very emotional response from group that this seems to be very sensitive. I cannot create this. If there's something else I can help you with, let me know. So do we say that that has already been stage reached, that AI is that
Yeah,
active?
obviously we are moving in that direction only, but slowly. It will take time because the more you want subjectivity, then learning requirement is much higher. You really need to understand the context, right? So Grok might have understood. You never know what is the reason for this. Maybe it has identified any image which is being created because of these two gentlemen was having a very heavy backlash, right? So it could be an event of some kind of unnecessary set of activities which should be avoided. And the same is true if you ask anything from DeepSeek in terms of anything for China related to China or some kind of topic which is sensitive to China, it will not reply, right?
Which in that case that the process in itself has a certain bias or a certain a guiding divide that while researching it will automatically negate all this. And for example, as Shivangi talked about creating that image, so it's kind of controlled by people rather than it has learned on the data, and it could have given the image and said that you can't use it anywhere or something like that.
So I think both, right? First of all, your statement is correct. Nothing can be bias free because the moment I say it's bias free, it's biased itself, right? But based on the belief system, it has to be tuned, right? Now, it could have been a kind of reactive machine ka input also that do not create something like this, which is involves these kind of people or these kind of pattern. Do not create like this, okay? Or it could be on the basis of the limited memory AI also, where the machine has learned that whenever this kind of content is being created in my platform, I got this kind of outcome which is not expected or desired outcome and so on, right? So both are possible because the moment you move to the next one, all previous two are anyways, the previous things are already available and so on. Okay, but point here is actually it is getting theory of AI, theory of mind kind of AI, where it can think the way humans are thinking, moving towards thinking part of it, right? So if you ask anyone to do it, whether he will do or not, so the same kind of thinking is happening with the machines, right? So we have this kind of thing and all that, right? Now, next on the basis of, the scope of the AI, right? Again, this is another kind of classification. We have again three. So something called narrow AI, or it is also called weak AI, right? Now, the narrow AI is something which is being used to perform something very specific to a particular domain or task, right? So I will, so with respect to that, it is very much intelligent, okay, but it is not capable to perform the task beyond it, right? So you may see a lot of some platform like this. For example, there are platforms to learn, say, mathematics. So this platform called, I will not name it, but there are a couple of math AI kind of platform where you just give the question, it solves for you, right? And it also gives the steps. Fine. And some of the platforms also take images. You just give them image, it will just take the question and will solve for you. Now, if the mathematics can be solved by AI platform, that means AI has learned those kind of fundamentals of mathematics, right? And it solves for you. And you give any question. Okay, if you want, I can just show it to you. But that is domain specific, right? So it is not beyond that particular domain. Even your assistant, right, rather than the phone and all that, Siri and all that, they are tuned to do some set of tasks, right? But humans are not having narrow AI, right? So let me just show you to you so that let me open this one platform. Fine, this is called Mathway. And but this is one example. We have a couple of this like this. right? Okay, so if you recall your mathematics lectures, okay, so I will say, okay, x square, okay, minus say 5x plus say 6 is equal to 0, right? Now, okay, can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
so it asks for the solve for x. So we'll solve for the x. You can see that. Okay, and you get the answers of 3 and 2, and tap to view the steps. And this is not free, by the way. Maybe it will ask for signing or something like this. If I ask for the steps, let me see. Yeah, it is asking for it, right? So actually I used it significantly. So my free thing is down. So let me just check it with us. So, but it actually shows the steps. Minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. And maybe I can ask him to make a graph of it. It will make a graph of it. Can you see this one? The same can you do with any kind of complicated stuff and all that, right? You just need to formulate the problem here and we'll do it for you. It can also identify the integral or differential or anything else or solution, right? You can also solve, I think, matrix. I need to fill in 3 cross 3. I need to put the values, anything. Oh, 3 cross 3 is too big, by the way. Let me fill it kind of some here. But I don't know how much it will allow as a free tool. And then maybe I will say, okay, multiply with, I don't know whether the multiplication is directly here. So can I check the multiplication here? I mean, you can do a lot of things here. Okay, so I just need to check the multiplication wala thing here. Okay, this is not multiplication. Where is the multiplication? Can you see that? Yeah. Into another matrix. Again, 3 class 3, I think I would require. And I can just put it any number. You can do it and do calculation and all that. Can you see that? Right, tab to view, but this will not do it. Again, it will ask for the sign. I mean, so this is kind of narrow AI, right? Where I have very specific domain and all that. Fine. I hope idea is clear. Now, so you define those solutions for very specific tasks. For example, this AI which you are using in, say, Digiyata and all that, that is trained especially for image recognition, right? Siri is being trained, or AI virtual assistants are being trained for doing, voice recognition, right? And that is the specific purpose. So you cannot. So every time if you have to, so the shortcoming here is that every time if you have to do something, you have to again train them, right? So it cannot be used for any kind of task. You have to build it again and again. But we have, as a human, we have something called general AI, which is called strong AI, right? What is the meaning of general AI? The same person can be a champion in maths as well as in physics, or as well as in chemistry, or he could be a good sports person, or maybe he's a good singer and so on. So I can learn many things. So I have the same memory, but I can learn many things and all that, right? So why? Because we have those number of parameters which can help to learn anything. It's very general, right? That is why it is called general AI, and also strong AI because it's quite capable in all that, right? So moving from narrow to general means every time you need not to create a new machine again and again to do something, right? I got something which will perform all the tasks, right? So thinking about having a helper who is your driver, who is your secretary, who is your say cook or anyone else, one person who can do everything, something like this, right? So you need to hire 3 people for who is your gardener, right? 3 or 4 people for all those activities. One kind of, one person which can perform all the tasks, right? So this is general AI and all that, right? Fine. We can understand many languages, isn't it? We can learn many languages, okay, because we have that learning capability. But the third one, again, successive as a part of the progression, is super intelligent AI. So it may have, this is anyways not happening right now, but it may happen in future, higher ability and intelligence compared to the humans. Now that means machines are anyways more capable in terms of physical capabilities, doing repetitive tasks and all that, right? But in terms of intelligence, they are lower than the humans. Okay. But what if having a AI which is more intelligent than humans itself? Because human brain is also having some capacity, some capability, right? So beyond that, if I can do that, okay, then the machines will be not only physically more capable and also the intellectually more capable. Then it will be kind of super intelligent AI. And the moment that happened, then we may see a lot of sci-fi movies becoming real. Okay, and that is again, there's talk that there's some kind of discussion. Should we, how much we should allow as a AI in terms of capabilities and all that, right? So, but that is possible, right? But that could be quite dangerous also, right? Fine. Now, some of the issues with respect to AI, and which is very generic issues and all that. One is ethical issues in terms of data, right? That how AI is learning, most of the time AI is learning with respect to the data itself, right? So what kind of data we can share and how much we can share. Now, there is a direct correlation, negative correlation in terms of the free movement of data and the convenience. Okay. The more you restrict the data, the convenience will be less because the data is there with limited set of people and all that. Okay. So it will not allow you to do certain things and all that. And considering the impact of AI and data movements in personal, with respect to individuals' privacy, we are seeing that a lot of new rules are coming in, especially the GDPR, which you have heard about it, right? Which is very much prominent in Europe. So the applicability of the data or usability of the data decreases when you have tight boundaries or tight rules in terms of using it. So what purpose you can use it and for what purpose you cannot use it, right? How you ensure that the AI will not misuse the data? Because if every data is there with the machines, it can be misused, right? And use and misuse itself is quite subjective. So there's something called legal or illegal. Fine. So something I can do, something I cannot do. But ethical thing, I mean, ethics or non-ethical or ethical is something which is very subjective. Okay. So if I have your number and if I give you a call, right, for sales pitch, I mean, it's not illegal, but it's unethical. Many times you're calling, you're capturing my movements and all that, right? Okay, I came, you visit to our shop, and because of which we captured your phone number without your permission. I am passing on those list of phone numbers to someone else, they are calling and so on, right? Or the data capture with respect to the health, the Fitbits and all that, which are very personal data. And based on that, I'm making some recommendations. So my data is being actually sent to someone, right? So my privacy is being breached and all that, right? So how much of this is allowed and how much is not allowed? Okay. Obviously, the seamless movement of data will create more business value. Okay. So more easily the data will flow, the business value is there. Fine. So how to ensure that the ethics will be there? Okay, so that's another challenge, right? Second is the algorithmic bias, right? Now that is challenge anyways with the predictive systems also, and that will be bigger challenge for the AI systems. And what is algorithmic bias, by the way? Uh, any guess what is algorithmic bias?
I believe the system itself is biased in identifying one trend over another trend. So
Mhm.
maybe when it is choosing the data, so somewhere, I mean, identifying the one trend, it is just giving the preference to the other trend. So this might be a sort of algorithmic bias.
So even algorithmic bias are of different types, but you may see if you look at any ad, okay, for say a fairness cream, what kind of people or faces you see? Don't you think it's kind of bias, right? If you see ad of any, say, any college, right, any private college, what kind of faces they use, right? So So that biases are there from the system itself, right? Okay, they wanted to project everything which is, so-called good looks or something like this. But actually, does it actually represent the population? Okay, the sample which is being shown, 5 people, which are being shown as a part of the poster, do they actually represent the population? But this is systematic bias. Another kind of bias will be there with the data itself. Suppose if you have data, if I talk about the judicial system. Now, if you have data where certain category of people are having over-representation in terms of, being a criminal or something else, the learning in terms of probability of having any person to be criminal or not is already being there, and which is bias. Okay, so just because this kind of people are overrepresented in the past crimes, there is a high probability that this person who belongs to this category may have committed the crime. That is bias. Now, probability is good in terms of population, but for a particular person, that's 100% or 0%, right? He might be a criminal, he might not be. So just because you are more than 50% confirmed, that does not mean that you are doing a justice to him, considering the point that either he is criminal or not criminal. Okay, another example, say immigration systems. Okay, they are quite selective in terms of picking up people. Again, this is all probability based, right? So they will go for higher level of scrutiny or interrogation for some set of people. Now, why this is happening? Because they already have the past data. Okay, and they already have the past data. Based on that, they have come up with this. But this kind of selective treatment is again enriching their belief, because now out of 20 or 10 people, they are selecting 7 which belong to this category. So anyway, 7 of them are being picked up. Okay, and chances of then if these people are being found, which is kind of against the rule, entry and all that, then this will further increase the data and further increase the probability. So next round, not 7 out of 10, rather 8 out of the 10 will be picked up, which will be belonging to this particular category. And over a period of time, this learning will be biased. Okay, so this kind of issues might be there because you are based on the data itself, right? So you have to ensure the data is free from any prejudice. You may have pattern, but the prejudice for the operation should not be there. So you have to identify in that way and so on, right? Okay. Any comment or any doubt with respect to any of the classification here? Okay, what do we understand by intelligence or thinking? What humans are having here, which is not there with the machines?
The ability to think,
Okay,
the ideation.
ideation, think. Okay, so how do you define? How do you define thinking?
Thought
Rational,
process which will give the
emotional.
chain of reaction.
Okay, yes, Mr. Cliff, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying thinking would be a combination of rational, emotional, your own personal biases, all combined would be the human way of thinking.
Okay. By the way, humans only think, huh? Which we think. We think humans only think. Okay. So let's decompose it to multiple components, right? What we have different from machine? We have something called ad hoc decision making capability. What is that ad hoc? That something is not planned well ahead, but something has happened in the environment and I will try to react over it based on my rational learning. For example, I'm sitting here and suddenly, say, I see a snake. I'm not prepared for it, right? I was not aware of it, but I will do something. Okay, I will just say run away from the room or will call the security, whatever. So this is ad hoc, right? So as a human, you have to take a lot of ad hoc calls, okay, which are not pre-planned or not pre-trained. But because you have that kind of comprehension, you can do that, right? Second capability which you have as a human is you can self-learn from the environment, self-learning, not only learning, self-learning, which is happening, at the back of your mind. You're not even aware, but that is happening. Okay, just think like this. Think like, students of class 5. Teacher 1 entered, he is very strict. They will behave in one way. Teacher 2 enters, he is very liberal, they will behave another way. Why that is happening? That's the self-learning that has happened. Same is true with us. Boss 1 versus boss 2. We will behave differently if they are very different. Okay, why? Because we have that kind of self-learning capability with respect to any event or environment. Third thing which we have, which is not there with the machines, and that is nothing but the cognitive capabilities and all that. Okay, what is that cognitive capability? That we have those kind of emotional things, right? Belief system, irrational or rational thinking based on our experiences, right? Two set of people, one has, is living in very posh locality, another is living in very, I would say, rough locality. The way they can behave with respect to any situation will be very different because they have very different kind of cognitive treatment and understanding of the things and all that, right? So this makes us different from the machines, and we can connect the things at a larger level. And that's why, when we talk about, kind of one of the classification, when we have this narrow and, not sorry, limited memory and theory of mind, right? So limited memory is right. The machines are taking call based on some limited memory from the environment. Theory of mind is,
किशोर किधर गायब हो गए आप?
the theory of mind is more on like your humans. Why? Because humans can have a larger time frame. 10 years back, you did this to me. Still, I can take that data point as my decision making process, as input, right? So you remember things. Okay. Okay. When we were in this organization, 5 years later, you didn't do this. Now, after that, now it is time to give you back. So this is theory of mind. Our mind feeds everything. Okay, fine. Now, so I think fundamentally we have covered, all this which I wanted to do as a part of AI and all that. If you have any comment or doubt, you can ask. If no, then we can move ahead. And I hope you have gone through the case as well.
Sir, one question I have. If we take ChatGPT versus Gamma.app, Gamma.app is for presentations only. So will that be a narrow or will that be a strong AI?
See, Gamma.app is having the backend LLM, which does lot of, I would say, general things, right?
Okay.
But the front end gives you option of selecting the file format. It's not like I will only work on the PPT or something, but the back end is general. So I would like to rate it more towards the general AI.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Again, one more thing, the idea of this segregation is not, where you can say this is general or this is narrow, but try to appreciate the difference in terms of the capabilities, what you're feeding in, right? So you may have a solution which may have more on the general side, less on the narrow side, or vice versa. Okay.
Okay.
I will never ask, or nobody will ask directly, okay, tell me which category this will fit in. Okay. But if you can differentiate that closer to which paradigm it is in, then you will be able to identify what is the usability of this. Right.
Okay.
Fine. So now in terms of capabilities and in terms of application, which is the next thing which we have to discuss and all that, I have not covered some of the things which is kind of just to talk about how these algorithms learn and all that and what these algorithms can do. If time permit, I will do that also, because I didn't want to make it that much technical, but I would like to more into the application side. So I have couple of things which I can talk about as a kind of application. What I will do after uh, this discussion the case, right? So let's talk about the case which you have learned, which you have studied, that what kind of case we have and how the AI is coming here. Okay, fine. And we should be always be very clear on how we can use AI to further augment some product or service, or can come up with some kind of product and all that. Is it okay? So what to do? So would you like to go for that case, all of you? Which case? Disney, which you have read.
The Disney case is the one that we had prepared for last session as well.
Okay, I hope you remember it.
Somewhat, yes.
So the case is very simple actually.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can think it's very straightforward also, but we may discuss a lot of things which is maybe not directly there as a part of the case itself, right? So first, I really want to have some data or some context from the case. What is this case all about? Yes, please. So Disney is trying to do something. Okay.
Disney is trying to incorporate ML into its future plans
Core
in
operation. Yeah.
in order to come on par with or become a better competitor with Netflix and for a couple of other products that they are trying to
Yeah.
maybe introduce or have currently in their buckets.
Correct. So, so they are into this kind of OTT market, and people come to this platform, they interact with the platform, and people give lot of data impression, right? Now, one of their competitor, which is the biggest player also in OTT domain, which is Netflix, they got to know that Netflix is massively using the data-driven technologies, machine learning, maybe AI also, to drive their business, right? We are also getting into this. So two things, how we can have the not same but similar data-driven operation policies, that how we can use the data, because data is going to come for sure. Okay, so all digital platforms create a lot of data. Fine. So first of all, how do I value my data with respect to my business? Is it possible or not? And for that, we need to convince ourselves whether actually there's a value of the data or not. Why do you think a viewing pattern will have some value as a data to say this Disney? Let's build on some very simple use cases, huh? When you sign in for Gmail, right? You get free email service, you get free Google Drive, photos, so many things, maps. Why they give you all this thing for free? What business case?
So to
They
cross
don't
sell.
want them to go to your other competitors, and they already have those offerings in their bucket. So
Okay, but basically they're giving you all those features for the data. They wanted to have your data point in with respect to any activities. But do you really think your data is that much valuable to them? What makes you to think like this? So that they are giving you such
Yeah.
kind of
So their data is used by other platforms to target us with relevant ads or to give us relevant offers, whether we see promotions in Gmail or whether it's listening to us and then automatically we see the next ad on various other platforms. So eventually even the health data, they use it to kind of do their analysis for third parties and then also recommend us product spaces, what we are talking or what we are searching for.
So data at personal level as well as at the aggregate level could be useful and can be converted to some business case. Just think about it. I will give a very simple example. Just think about this Google Map. Google Map is being used by various business enterprises also, and that's not free. Initially, the map was only map. It didn't have anything else than the map. Now you get the data of the traffic also. That data is coming in, and whether the traffic data is relevant for the map or not.
Yes.
Very much.
Is it related to the Google listings here?
I'm talking about the Google Map where the traffic data is there, and because of which you just see how much time it will take, and you take the different routes. How that how the traffic data is coming to the Google Map, the green, the blue,
The Android location, the location from our devices.
your data, your location data,
Correct.
Yes.
aggregated
Real time.
on real time or near real time basis. At aggregate level, this data makes sense and which gives a business use case. So maybe your location as in is not that much relevant, but your location with millions of other people as a group is more useful. So this is how data is being used to create business value. And this is just one, right? And then you talk about Miss Sonali, you talked about those mappings in terms of the shops,
Listing.
listing
Yeah.
and all, right?
Yes.
That is also being done by individuals, okay, and which when it is being seeded there, it adds to the others,
Yes,
right?
because there is an option of maps when you click, so you get the data, how many people are coming.
Coming, yes. So based on that, so aggregate level, that data makes a lot of sense, right? So point here is you need to clearly have the idea of how you're going to use your data and so on, right? So when we talk about this case, how do you convince yourself that having a platform based data in terms of the users behavior and all that is actually making some sense, business sense? Why you wanted to have a data driven platform? So I gave the example of Google Map, why you require aggregation of the data. But what about this? Do you really think data is so important? So this is simply OTT business, right? You just create the content and people can watch it. Why you wanted to get into the data analysis and data science and AI kind of stuff here?
So maybe to personalize the experience for the
Mm-hmm.
customers who are watching or gonna enroll for,
Okay.
and maybe direct that kind of algo towards their liking and showing the options that they would prefer to watch as content.
Okay, so the personalization thing which you have mentioned, do you really think with this kind of digital platform, personalization is really relevant?
Because when I use Netflix, they give me options which is based on my recent history.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand maybe because of that they are adding a little more learning to the machine so that they can pick and choose and give those kind of options and personalize their experience of
Okay,
content so
correct.
that the search can be reduced.
Yeah, so search cost, right? So I am, if you look at the whole recommendation system, the search is something which is quite painful. Why it is painful? Because I have millions of this thing, right? I have millions of the options. How come I can ensure that people are going to watch that they like? Now their liking is very important. Huh? Their liking is very, very important. Why? Because if you look at any of this, the OTT platform, what they want
अभी
people
आई ना
are going to put more time on the platform. Then only the platform is sustainable. They want consumption of the content.
content
Consumption. Now, why somebody will consume the content when he likes it? Okay, out of millions of products which are listed, which one he will like? Right? Which one he will like? That simply depends on how much I know about you. Okay, so here comes the personalization part of it. That how much I know about you will decide that I'm going to give you content which you like. Okay, just look at the Netflix issue. Netflix is purely subscription based, right? Now, if in Netflix, if that simply means every month they will get the revenue, which is good by the way. This is called continuous revenue stream model. Okay, which is very prominent model and very, I would say, popular model or desired model in marketing, where every month you are getting continuous revenue stream. But the problem with Netflix is that next month, if 50% of the people do not subscribe, then my revenue is down by 50%. Right? That's very risky proposition, by the way. Okay, because nobody has guaranteed, or there's no guarantee that every month people will again subscribe. So I need to ensure that people subscribe every month. Right? Why people will subscribe every month?
Because
If
of extra content.
if they are watching, then only they subscribe. So I have to ensure that they're consuming content every month. That is the point. Okay. And why they will consume content every month? Because they like my content, right? So, and why they will like, if I am going to give them, which is with respect to their preferences, then obviously they will watch it. So I need to engage them continuously. Okay. Now, because I am serving to a wide variety of people, so I need to have millions of titles. So then I have to do this matching, right? So as per some of the reports, around 2/3 of the total content watching in Netflix happens because of the recommendation, right? So, and they are also in the similar domain. Okay. So even for them, watching the content is important. If the watching of the content is important, then they have to do something in terms of the personalization or recommendation. And how to recommend, how user will tell what I wanted to watch, that's not, will not directly come every time. Rather, you have to gauge this one. Second, how you can push him to watch something different, which that he is watching, right? Which he may like. Okay. So in that context, the data capturing as well as data, I would say, analysis for that particular customer is important. I get your point. So it makes a good case to capture the data for the customer, even for the Disney, right? And they're trying to benchmark with Netflix, whether they should do or not, that's a different thing. Okay. But because they are in the business, which is similar to Netflix, and some of the KPIs are relevant to them also. So initially think it looks like they also need to do something in terms of building some data science capabilities, or I would say AI capabilities and all that. But what capabilities or what solutions, it might be different from Netflix, right? But it has to be data driven significantly. That is one thing which is coming out of it. Okay. Is it fine? Now, before we get into the Disney part of it, let's try to analyze or see what this Netflix is doing, right? Fine. So one motivation already I mentioned why they wanted to have machine learning and all, but what exactly they're doing as of now? 3, 4 things they have already mentioned. Okay. So how they are using the data. Okay. So first they are doing is they are doing the massive personalization. Okay. What is personalization for them? So how many genres you think you have with respect to movies? 5, 6. You may have
Comedy, thriller.
comedy, thriller, action, romance. So many things are there. But they have identified thousands of it. So which is called subgenres, right? So within comedy, they have say situational comedy or some other kind of comedy or thrill comedy or something else, right? Also maybe comedy with this kind of star or this particular star with this particular actress with this location with this setting, rural or urban, all those kind of things, right? They have not mentioned, right? So this is called clustering or descriptive, by the way, right? So they have identified around 2000, they called it taste communities. Okay, which is nothing but the subgrouping of people in terms of their taste. Right. So I have more visualization in terms of what actually they are watching. Okay. So I can do it at very deep in terms of what exactly they are watching. Okay. So I have that kind of mechanism of descriptive thing where I can identify people who belong to these 2000 taste categories. Okay. Now if the moment I have this, my recommendation will be very narrow. Okay. So I'm not doing a generic recommendation, rather I'm personalizing. Why? Because I know you fit to taste category 107, he fits to taste category 2000, 1977. These are very different from each other. So at context, I have found the parameters which are very much specific to a particular group, right? And that's why I will make a very precise kind of recommendation. Okay, that's one. Second is they are using these taste categories for content creation also. Okay, so in all these taste communities, I have the data of consumption, that how many people are there in each of the communities, which particular community is big, which is small. Okay, what kind of people are there. Okay, how much is the average time duration of watching, that also requires to be captured. Why? Because then only you will create the content of how many hours, right? The supply side will match the demand. Okay, so you need to know the demand, that okay, how many hours of the consumption is there on an average with respect to this kind of test community, right? So, and what kind of people, based on the comments or based on their interaction, what kind of, story people are looking for. So even the content creation, their directors, producers are being given input. Okay, you have to make this kind of content, and that's what you also see that whenever any show becomes hit, suddenly we'll see the Netflix or all the Prime videos, the similar kind of shows with the same kind of settings will be there. Okay. Why? Because they realize this kind of content requires more consumption. There's a more demand for it and so on. Right. So my content creation is coming from my consumption. Okay. Fine. The second. Third, what they're doing is, yes, please. It's written in the case.
They're doing dynamic thumbnails.
Okay.
Uh,
Dynamic thumbnails, right?
yeah, which is basically again going back to the taste or the preferences of the users. A user might see a different thumbnail basis of what their liking is. If they like action, then they'll probably see something which is more action savvy from
So thumbnail is, I would say, highly personalized with respect to user. Two different people
yeah,
will see two different thumbnails,
yeah.
right? So why they have done so? Because they have realized that they have done some research that okay, based on the response to the thumbnail, there is a high dependence in terms of consumption or at least going for that movie.
Whether or not I'll check out that title is
Check
also
out or not.
dependent on that.
So they have also mentioned the timeline. If right, so because of the thumbnail, it will come in there. And then if he watches for initial few seconds, then he would like to watch it again more and so on. So they
Yeah.
want people to watch, at least evaluate my content, right? So if the thumbnail is fine, they are entering into it, fine. But after entering, which clip has to be shown from the movie? That is also kind of subjective.
Mm.
Okay. And so which clip will bind him based on different preferences. So that is being dynamically done now. So it's not a static one. So that is other thing which is happening because of AI. As I mentioned, that this is subjective automation. It is actually automated. It's not like someone is doing it. This is called
Mm.
subjective automation, where more dynamicity is there, more decision point is there with the machine itself to decide, okay, to Rajhans Mishra, which clip I should show to this movie, to Miss Akanksha Mishra, which clip I should show. So this is coming directly from the data analysis. Can you connect this? Right? And
Yeah.
that is adding to the, agility, I would say dynamicity here. Right? So they are reaping the benefit of their observation in terms of how people interact with the content and how they decide on watching that content or not. And then you are building on the front end, right? Fine, fine. That's the third. Fourth one, right? Let's have a break. So people who have not read it, just identify what is the fourth one, and then we can discuss this, right? And then we'll see, okay, what are the different things as a part of machine learning and AI can be done in this context, right? I will also talk about few more things with respect to the data mining itself, if time permits, and then we can wind up to this session. Have a break. You can talk to others. I am not listening. So hi all.
Hi, sir.
Hi,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
One more thing, I have also mentioned few small readings, right? I mean, readings are not for discussion as such, but readings are something which you can refer and you can get, what's happening in this domain and all that. And the readings are not very big, so 4 or 5 pages and all that, right? So if you have gone through this, okay. If you're not, then you can try it out. So one reading is more about what kind of uh, things we can do as a part of our, Gen AI and all that. So what all activities people do and all that. So some summary is being given there. And the second one is more on the, kind of tool developments or AI platform development because of the Gen AI platform. So if Gen AI is there, then what kind of new platforms can be developed and how they can use it and all that. Okay, so that something has been mentioned here as a part of it. And many things you can also think, okay, you considering the fact that you have Gen AI, then what you can add on to existing platforms. So which your platforms are already doing it, right? So some kind of description, some kind of content generation, some kind of giving more options, some kind of talking more accurately as a agent to the prospective customers and all that. You know why the AI is important and all that, and why profiling of the customer is important. I think I gave this example anyways last time, if you recall. That if someone has to buy insurance, right? Insurance is having some 140 or 150 features, say travel insurance and all that. Did I tell this to your group? No. So out of 150, maybe 4 or 5 is something which is being liked by, or which is being looked by one person. Now, based on that identification of those five, quick decision is being made. Now the platforms are taking that call. Okay, which five I need to select, right? It's like recommendation itself, right? Okay, out of 150, which five will be liked by them, right? So the AI is already there as a part of it, right? Whether we know it or not, whether we understand it or not, but some kind of intelligence in terms of hyper personalization is already there. Okay. So coming back to this case, the fourth thing which is there and which you have easily identified is straightforward written. And in terms of the experience of the consumption experience, right? So they can identify that what kind of device is this, and now for this kind of device, which what should be the bit rate, or what should be the other technical parameters through which the experience of watching will be much better, right? So it's not like a uniform kind of delivery to the devices. Rather, some modification is being done based on who, from where, what is the internet speed, what is the device type, and all that that is being done. Okay. Have you seen any such experience in Indian context? And that's AI, by the way. There's a news few days back that your price shown on your phone depends on which kind of phone you are having.
It was an example for Blinkit or other apps where a price on iOS versus Android was different.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially Zepto has been notorious for
Yeah.
this.
Yes, Zepto was more known for this. And also, other parameters that, okay, some of the cases like if the battery is about to drain, the price will be little bit higher for the cabs and all that, right? Because you have less time, you are in hurry and so on, or something like that, right? So all those things happen at the back end as a part of AI and all. This is ethical, not ethical, that's a different thing, but that's a good business case, right? So if I know that customer is not price sensitive, then I can make more money. Second is based on the devices, what kind of products he would like to consume. Maybe some input can be identified as a part of the recommendation systems and all that, right? Fine. Now coming back to this case again, if so we have discussed what basically they are doing, right? But how they are doing, can we get into this also? So the how part will be we have to get into with respect to what we have discussed, right? So descriptive, predictive, prescriptive and all that, right? So do you see any kind of descriptive analytics used here? Okay, very simple. So descriptive is what? Your grouping of users is kind of descriptive, right? So which customers are similar, right? So that means the taste communities which are coming in, that's part of the descriptive one. Okay, you're describing them, right? Fine. Any kind of predictive, do you remember descriptive, predictive and prescriptive? Okay, do you remember we discussed that? So descriptive, just a kind of revision. Descriptive is nothing but when you identify the inherent pattern that is there with the data, that's descriptive, right? So, if I say, okay, which stocks move together, that description, the similarity among the stocks which are going to move together, right? Or which indices are moving together. Okay. Predictive is something when you have something for which you are going to tell the future value. Okay. Whether he is a good customer or bad customer. He will be a good customer or bad customer. If you are going to do it for a credit card. So before you give it to anyone, you just wanted to check whether this customer is going to be good or bad. Right. This is prediction. Okay. What will be the value of that stock tomorrow? This is prediction. Right? So do you see any predictive activity that is happening here? So you already have a content, right? Then you can identify, okay, which customer will have high probability to consume this content, isn't it? Okay. So content is already being created. So how to personalize it? So let me create a matrix and then identify or map it that what is the probability. So those set of customers who are having higher probability of convergence, they will be predicted for this particular content, right? So this will be the recommendation, right? Fine. Now, is there any prescriptive I can do it? What is prescriptive, by the way?
How
Sir,
to
giving recommendations.
So prescriptive is some kind of action plan.
action plan. How to do it better way.
Yeah, so based on my predictive and descriptive, what do I suggest as a part of my action plan, right? So I will inherit something from my prescriptive and descriptive, and then I can give a plan. Okay, so it's like getting a prescription from the doctor itself, right? So I have given the example in the previous session. If you can recall, anyone recall prescriptive ka example?
User preference, जो user preferred content which can be shown to the users.
Okay, fine.
Based on their historical data.
So if you recall, just to describe this, right, all these three, suppose, this is part of one of our project and also. So for example, we have this dial 100 service. Okay. Now there are limited vehicles and the objective is that you have to reach to that particular location from where you're getting the calls, right? Now there is some predefined performance parameters that within these many minutes you are supposed to reach there. So descriptive is nothing but identifying the kind of crimes that are happening across the different locations. Okay. Or identifying the kind of calls which I am going to get from different locations. Okay. This is the description. Okay. So I have done some grouping in terms of their characteristics and all that. Which time, so it could be time based, it could be location based, it could be something mix of it. So I got some kind of inherent pattern of getting the calls. Right. Now predictive is in order to get or in order to fulfill the performance parameters. So within 5 minutes I will reach, or within 3 minutes I will reach, I will schedule. Okay. I would like to have the vehicles placed in those locations where chances of having this kind of calls are higher. So that's prediction. So which kind of calls will be there higher? So that's prediction part of it. And based on the descriptive and prescriptive, I will make a plan for optimization of the route of the vehicles by placing them in few strategic locations is something which comes as a prescriptive. Right? Now, prescriptive should derive something from predictive as well as descriptive, but it also have some kind of inherent domain knowledge. For example, if we try to move the vehicles or remove the vehicles from some location, just because though that location has less number of crime or less number of incidents, that could be a partial picture of the entire data. You never know that the reported incidents are low because of presence of those vehicles. Right? So you need to always justify the prescription with respect to the data as well as with respect to the logic. Right? Now, what is my prescriptive analytics in this case? What could be my prescriptive analytics in this case? For what you wanted to make a prescription? Maybe the content creation, right? So what kind of content I should make so that it increases the likelihood of consumption of the content. So I already have the taste communities which is coming up. I already know the probability of consumption or not. Then knowing both of them, what kind of content I should consume or create so that the consumption of the content is higher. Right? This is the third one, description. Is it okay? Speak up, please. It's only I am speaking. Okay. Fine. So, given the yes, please go ahead.
So basically, when we are saying that we are using prescriptive and predictive and descriptive analysis, it will help segregate the groups and the likelihood of the content in the groups. And based on that, the content can be prescribed for the users or the platform that which kind of content should be made, which will be consumed. So that will be objective and that will be prescriptive analysis for creating the content.
Yeah, so you have to club both of them.
Both of them.
Predictive and descriptive to prescribe something, right? And that should be dynamic, right? There might be a problem of algorithmic bias here. What is that? Because you are creating same content of content, that's why the consumption of that content is high. Now, this is organic or inorganic, you do not know. And that may create a problem that people will say, okay, this platform always gives this kind of movie or always suggests this kind of thing. I'm bored. Right? So at what time you have to make that kind of subjective, I would say, call to make a prescriptive model more relevant, right? Like the example of that, the vehicles, where you should know the basis because of which the crimes are low. So you should know the basis because of which people are watching the content. So that kind of subjective knowledge or subjective trend should be feed in for the content creation. Else this will be kind of closed loop problem. You are creating similar kind of content, so that's why people are using, watching the same content. But there might be a possibility of watching some other kind of content which you are missing out. Okay, so you are within a loop and you're just revolving, and over a period of time that may create some kind of, I would say, decline in the interest of the user to buy, to buy or to watch that kind of content and all that. Right now,
So in
when
the case, so
yeah.
in the case of similar, like we are discussing this case, basically what we want to say is that the platform, whatever feedback we are giving, it should contain, should comprise of the content what other competitors are consuming, and that analytics should be done by the platform itself or the model itself, so that it can be relevant in as per the trends and the other kind of content which is required, right?
True, true. So now if we have to move ahead, then the moment we decide it is all data driven, then how we'll get the data for it? Because we are doing some kind of, I would say, uh, cold start, not cold start, but we don't have that kind of amount of data, right? So how to start about it? Cold start where the data is, the machine is just starting. There's no, not that much of data. So what kind of data sources we may get in, to ensure that people are actually interested in our content, or we know what kind of content we should get into. Okay. So case has, I think, mentioned also, right? So there are some kind of data, first party, second party, third party, and all that, right? Right. So you know what is first party, second party, third party. Okay. So what is first party data?
Company's own data, customer
Yeah,
data.
so I have my
Registered
customer.
ad source,
I
yeah.
have my customer. I have those data with me. So that's first party. Second party is
Lookalike data.
which is again collected by the same company, but given to you, right? So case is very well given that, for example, Google, Facebook, and all that, they get the data. For example, you are searching on Google that flight from say Delhi to Mumbai, and now this data may be given to Yatras. So it will be second party data for Yatra. Okay, why? Because Google has collected for itself. Okay. Third parties, obviously, they are not the direct users. They get it from some other aggregators and so on. That's what, right? Now, so they have to decide that how they can prepare themselves for this data-driven kind of activities by the combination of first party, second party, third party data. The problem right now with them is that they don't have too much of first party data, right? So this kind of cold start problem. So what kind of second party data they can use, and whether they can use or not? John, you have to build up.
Maybe from YouTube, they can collect the data. I mean, how many people are watching what type of movies or shows?
Or what kind of content in YouTube,
Yeah.
right? YouTube could be a good starting point as a second party data, correct, right? I was also referring to Reels and all that, which is coming on, say, Facebook or all those kind of things. So all those platforms where the content, video content is being consumed, could be good place to get the second party data and all that, and they can get that, right? Third party data, I'm not very sure how they can do it. Because here, what best they can do as a part of third party data is to promote their shows, or at least the I would say platform, by sending them email and all that. That okay, these shows are there with with Disney Plus or something, or we are broadcasting this kind of content and all that, right? And obviously, if they are going for this kind of mass marketing or controlled mass marketing kind of campaign, they have to ensure that the content people going to watch, this should be either free or kind of not very much costly. Why? Because why people will try it out? They have to make it try it out and so on. And that's what they have done actually. Disney Plus and all that. Many content, which initially they have created was easily available. And that is also related to their model. So if you look at OTT platforms, Netflix is a very close kind of platform. It says, okay, subscription. There's nothing called basic and premium. Okay. Why do you think others are coming with this basic and premium kind of thing? Why not premium directly?
To
And which
get the user into the ecosystem and then show him one episode which he finds interesting and then possibly upgrade him to the premium subscription.
correct. So that is even that is coming like show wise, sometimes show and episode wise or season wise and all that. Okay. And the reason is this because they first of all they don't have traffic. Second is if they don't have traffic, they also don't have the people the data, first party data and all that, right? So you can clearly, segregate the business strategies also the way the data is there with them. Netflix being old player, they have all the data, right? They have significant amount of the data with the customers and all that. So their business model is running because of the pre-captured data and all that, which is not the case with respect to all these new OTT platforms. What do you think? How these people can make money? So I think none of them, most of them are not making money in terms of profits. Okay. Now, other than Netflix is the profit making entity, but I don't think others are making money and all that. Despite they're not making money, they have already disrupted others. For
But Prime
example,
does have advertisements, so don't they? They have advertisements running in between, so you do get advertising profits or revenue at least.
yes. To start with, yes. By the way, despite they're not making money, they have already disrupted the dishwala thing, all those companies, D2H companies. Okay, now this is interesting. You are disrupting, even you are not making money. Okay, so and that is same is true with respect to a lot of e-commerce platforms also, right? They have disrupted the local players. Okay, Blinkit and all that, they have disrupted the local players and all that. And I don't think even they are making money and all that, right? Uh, right. So that happens. So and it takes time to make money, right? So unless until you converge to a particular level of, I would say,
Volume.
volume, correct, right? The profit making is not possible and so on. So they are building on the volume side itself, right? Fine. And later on, the Disney Plus is being acquired by Jio and all that. That data is not there here, so we'll not talk about that. But anyways, we have to just think about how machine learning can be utilized and all that, right? Okay, fine. So one part of the case is to see what Netflix is doing. So this case does very good kind of introduction for that. But second part is, okay, how much can be derived as a business model to Disney, whether they can replicate the same or different and all that, right? If they have to do the same, then they have to collect the different kind of, data points, which they are doing as a part of first party and second party and so on. Right. So any challenge which you find with respect to what they wanted to do, at the end they have also mentioned some kind of decision points and all that. Yes, please. So from the last paragraph, you have a heading called decision point, right? Yes, please.
How and in what way ML is to be used so that it can benefit the launch of Disney Plus?
Correct. So they are analyzing Netflix only to get benefit out of it, right? So whether they should go with the Netflix way or they have their own way.
Yeah.
And then second thing, they have also highlighted the ethical use of the data, right?
Yeah.
So it is non-discriminatory and all that, right? How to ensure that whatever they built on the data is like this and only, right? So that is something they are willing to talk about and so on, right? So what do you suggest, right? It's still open-ended, right? What do you suggest? What should they do? They should do the same thing or something else? Okay, let me make it very clear. Should they work on the demand side or supply side?
Demand side.
Demand side, right? So, and why not supply side?
So that would be just one-way push, and they will not be able to cater to the user preferences, and they will keep on pushing content which user may like or may not like, and lead to potential churn the next month onwards.
You know, the reason is the two or three reasons. One first reason itself is, uh, uh, I mean, how do you know, which you already mentioned, right? How do you know what will be consumed, right? So if you start from the demand side, you know that what people are looking for. So you know that, right? So if you first build it without knowing what people are going to consume, you don't have data, right? So unless until they build some kind of taste communities from the users, right? Then only the content creation could be more curated with respect to the, you know, the customers' preferences and all that, right? So they have to, you know, start from the content which they already have, and then try to have customers consume it, right? Okay, rather creating too many content at the supply side, and then they are doing all those picking up from the customers and from the demand side. No, you have some already content created which is coming from your repositories, which they have significantly. Then find out those kind of customers which would like to have it at least at a try, right? And that's why they have come up with the basic version and all that. Over a period of time, they can do some kind of descriptive thing that, okay, now I have some data, and this data can be used, okay, as a feedback to the content creation side. I got your point. So instead of directly jumping to the new content creation too much and try to replicate the Netflix wala strategy will be more dangerous, because content creation will come with a cost. Okay, you start ball rolling from the customer side, from the demand side, and you fix those demand or set of customers, the content which you already have, right? And then you create those kind of taste communities and all that, and over a period of time, then you take that feedback and then you generate the content and all that, right? That's the decision point they're talking about. So are you getting my point? Okay, and ethical thing and all that, that is anyways very much open-ended, that how much data they can use and what kind of inferences they can make about it, right? So it's ethical, this is not illegal, right, till the time it sails through. But I mean, mostly they have to use a lot of data, and sometimes it may breach some of the ethical things also, especially the privacy of the customers in terms of what kind of content they are going to watch and all that. That normally happens with most of the algorithms and all that, right? Why? Because you wanted to get more and more revenue, right? If you look at the Zepto example and all that, right? That's unethical, you know, to the user, in terms of, you know, using the information which they have not given for that consent, right? The platform get all this information that, okay, what devices you're using. But did you tell them that, okay, this information will be used for discriminating pricing? No. Okay, then what use, then why you are asking for that particular permission? Okay, so your rationale for giving that permission could have been that, okay, because of this we can serve you better in terms of, okay, compatibility of the device. Okay, what kind of content we will create, what kind of services we will deliver, whether it's compatible with all of my users or not. In case there is some bug in the application, I can find out the bug is there with the application or with the device and all that. So all those kind of support services, right? But you never told me that based on which kind of mobile I'm having, you're going to price me differently. Okay, so that's unethical. Okay, from the user's perspective, right? It might not be unethical from the platform perspective, saying that I am trying to target the customers on the basis of the price sensitivity. Okay, and that's business. Fine. And that's why the boundary between ethics and non-ethical thing is not very clear. It simply comes from the perspective and so on, right? So any other thing with respect to this case, I think already I've covered here. I also wanted to take this opportunity to highlight one thing, that there's a dedicated page called Netflix Research. I will show you. Okay, and they do a lot of research with respect to all these issues for the consumption of the content and all that. Netflix research. Okay, this is the whole page, whole website, and this could be useful for you if you are looking for some kind of cutting edge research, especially for the platforms and all that, right? And yeah, they also post a lot of job openings and all that in case you're interested anyways. And you can actually go and do some kind of filtering also, that what kind of content you're looking for and all that. For example, if I can bring this down, okay, so research areas, you can find it out. So they do almost for all the areas which are quite here, right? So NLPs and all that, recommendation is their favorite one, then some kind of analytics and all that. So you can find a lot of, I would say, relevant content which are primarily used in the marketing side, okay, based on the data, right, and so on. Okay, so if you want to see this recommendation wala video, you can see that, right? There's describe them very well and so on. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So I wanted to show you some one video which I have downloaded, and it's not the recommendation one, but other one. So what they do as a part of the machine learning, right? Okay. So will I be able to share the sound? Yes, this is fine. Okay, fine. I hope you'll be able to hear this.
At Netflix, we have.
Can you hear this properly?
Yeah, so we can.
Yes, good one.
Over 120 million members. They span the whole globe across 190 different countries, as well as a diversity of titles, content, comedies, and dramas. Machine learning is deeply intertwined with all aspects of Netflix's business. How we compose our catalog of content, how we produce our content, how we encode it, how we stream it. We use machine learning to help marketing efforts and advertising efforts, and then we also use machine learning in our content acquisition efforts.
Traditional entertainment companies, they didn't have the data that we have. So when we think about what are the gaps in our current content offering, what are titles that might be interesting to us, we're able to provide insight into new audiences that might not be traditionally served and go out and look for content that might appeal to them.
Some really exciting and novel areas are leveraging it for optimizing the production of our originals.
We find a lot of these productions are really gold mines of data. And what we find is there are various steps where important decisions can be supported by machine learning driven insights.
Machine learning is used in a real product. So what's very important is to find the right objectives to optimize. For example, if you think about personalization, we want to be able to find proper metrics and labels for our algorithms so that when we optimize them, it actually enhances users' experience.
It's very exciting to know that the models that you're working on really can have an impact to such a large number of members all across the world enjoying our content and really optimizing their joy. Which is a great feeling.
We are very much at the nexus of art and science, and we're working with people who are ultimately going to make these decisions, and we're supporting them with information that comes from machine learning. The combination is really powerful and super fun.
Each of our teams is generally a very diverse team in terms of the skill set that they bring to the table. Theoretical machine learning, computer vision, deep software engineers.
Everyone really just wants to work together. It's very easy to go to other places where you get to work on great research, but you don't see that research translated through interactions with other teams that are more product-facing teams and engineering teams. It's not often that you get to see a transformation of an entire industry And to be that agent is even rare. And Netflix has been that agent on a few occasions in its short history. So it just is a wonderful feeling being part of that.
It's usually a very new area where you kind of looking through papers to see what's been done before. You have to be.
Yeah, so this is all about this video. Just couple of things which I wanted to ask, because we have not discussed the pricing part of it, right? Any comment from your side with respect to the pricing which you see Netflix is putting here, right? Especially say in Indian context.
Most expensive.
Okay, so that's one. So they are expensive.
Yeah.
But they have various bundled offers. If you paid for multiple screens or HD or Super HD, so that they bases the usage and bases the data that they have gathered on which devices the user has been viewing the content and the streaming data. They've been able to bundle their pricing offers starting from mobile devices only to TV screens to 720 plus to 1080 plus. So I think the
Yes.
average revenue per user, they're able to kind of really work well with the machine learning algorithms.
Yeah, so that's what. So do you think they have done it randomly, or there's some data for it? Like,
There's data, so.
right?
Yeah.
So if you
Data.
yeah, if you recall, initially they were coming with the same pricing model, which was around 799 or 700, and where you can watch in 4 devices. And then they have slowly broke it down, right? So now the minimum in Netflix is coming at the price of 149, right? Now 149, if I have to share the screen, I will just open it. Okay, so now 149 is only for one device. Okay, and it's on for the mobile, right?
Yeah.
This, can you see this? This is only for the devices, right? So mobile phone or tablet. That's it. Mobile phone and tablet. But the basic plan, which is with higher bit rate, obviously, because the moment you are going to offer a higher bit rate, then again it's only for a one device, okay, but it could be for computer and for TV as well. So not only the mobile phone and tablet. Even this decision is data driven. Why? Because 720, unless until I give 720, it cannot support this, right? So I need to have this kind of rate to have this, right? And what about this 499, and this is full HD, and then the two devices, and again 649 and all that, then you have 4 devices and all that, right? Download devices and all that. So download devices and all that. What is this download devices?
So the content can be downloaded on either one of the device or
Yes.
multiple devices.
Or at a time only one, right?
Correct.
By the way, can I use this one on other device also at a time only one?
Only at one time. So what they've also recently done is that they identified that the users, at least in a family, for example, my in-laws are in Chandigarh and somewhere that I could use the same login for every other family. Now, basis the IP, they detect the user IP and household devices. So if you go within an IP range, they restrict the usage and then you have to log out from your home devices and log in there. So they have added one more layer, which was not previously.
Right. So what they have seen that people are using it for multiple
Friends were sharing the use that, and now it is getting restricted.
Correct.
Yes. People are sharing that logins and all that, right? Right. So at a time you can do this one, but you can use the same device at different locations, huh?
Yes.
Or you can log out from your device and maybe in some other city,
Log
some
into another
can
device.
use it, right? This they have allowed, which they have control. They could have control, by the way. Location wise controlling is not that difficult, huh? Because everything is coming as a part of IP and location. That permission they already take it.
Correct. But they take the device ID also as a part of it, and they identify the user basis the Mac ID or the Android ID or the main principal ID.
Identifying the
Correct.
device and location is not that difficult the moment you are installing any app of any company.
Absolutely.
We have already given that, right? So as of now, they're not stop it. And the reason is they just want people to have it.
Correct.
Right? So which is very different from their initial, pricing model, where they are focusing on 4 devices at a time. Then they realize, on an average, people don't have 4 devices to be connected, or it doesn't make a sense for people to have it, right? Then they realize, okay, this is a very different kind of place, and so on. So even the pricing is dependent on how the people are watching and what kind of devices are being used and all that, right? And that had made Netflix a success, great success, by the way, right? At the moment they come up with this mobile only kind of thing, realizing that many people are watching from the mobile, the Netflix has become great success in India as well. So 149 and 199 model is very much popular, right? Because many people are watching only on the mobile. So that's fine. So I will give you a lower rate, which can be fitted easily or go through easily through the mobile. And then I'm going to increase my, subscription base and all that, right? So that kind of guidance is coming from the data itself, right? Uh, yeah. So I would like to share a few more things. Any other comment here? Fine. So, we are talking about, AI and all that, but AI is actually coming through various data capturing mechanism. And one of very popular data capturing mechanism or platform that is coming up, which is called IoT and all that, right? So I hope you are aware of what is IoT. Name is Internet of Things. But the point here is uh, how IoT can get into this AI wala ka ecosystem. Okay. And how can I use IoT driven system for the marketing? Okay. So I think I should have covered this before. Somehow I missed this one, but it's not that late, by the way. Okay. So if I talk about, say, IoT is nothing but a set of devices which can capture the data. So now I am getting more and more data getting captured, right? So one of the very popular IoT, which is nothing but your mobile phone itself, is IoT. Okay. Now you may have IoTs like your Fitbits are IoTs, right? Uh, and your cars are IoTs. Okay. So anything which is part of the ecosystem of data capturing or data gathering is kind of IoT and all that. Okay. So I do not want to describe too much about IoT, thinking that you know what I mean by IoTs and all that, right? So why? But the point here is why we wanted to have IoTs. One is, okay, we wanted to get more data. Okay, what else?
It also improves efficiency and helps us automate tasks.
Okay, so you mentioned automation, right? So automation is going to be at higher level because of the connected devices, right? So whatever we have automated as a part of our ecosystem, now the scope is going to increase, right? So if you land to any location, for example, you have landed from Delhi to Chennai. The moment you land, you'll get a message from your, mobile service providers with respect to what the roaming rates and whatever. Now, this is all automated. Your mobile phone as a IoT gave the location information, which is kind of not base location, and accordingly, the work flow which is being trained and tuned, it has triggered, and you get all those messages. So this is all automated. First of all, nobody is manually doing all this for you. So all automated. So higher level of automation as a part of IoT, right? This one. Second is what kind of experiences are shifting, or what kind of new experience you can expect as a part of this IoT extended ecosystem. The moment you have more data from the ecosystem or from the customer, you can bridge a better experience, or you can create or curate a better experience for the customers, right? So consider IoT kind of system as a, I would say, supplement which helps you, to provide better customer experience. Right? We'll talk about few examples. Are you there with me? Right? Fine. Now, I have, given one statement here, which you can see that, what basically is happening, organizations are becoming more customer centric through IoTs. Acha, do you think customer centricity is anything is related to marketing or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. If it is yes, then you have a direct connect with respect to IoT and marketing. So how do I achieve the customer centricity with the help of IoTs? Right? Now, why this is happening? Because of just the flow of the data, right? Now, whatever I am doing here, it is being done based on the consumption of data of the customer itself. Let me give you example. Say slowly we are getting a lot of appliances which are intelligent enough, right? In fact, IoT itself is a intelligent agent, right? So your refrigerators will have those sensors, which is kind of IoTs, which will identify what is the current stocking in the refrigerator. Okay. Now, based on that, it helps you or it suggests that what need to be ordered.
And also what you can cook.
Okay, or what you can cook. But cooking is on the
It's the second process, yes.
But ordering is on the maybe the operations or marketing side. Okay, that's fine. Second level of automation could be based on the consumption pattern or based on the consumption pattern as well as stocking. I will directly order from the Amazon or from other platform or from something else. Okay. Let me make it more interesting. Based on the offers given in Zepto, Blinkit, all these kind of platforms, and based on my consumption or stocking, I will order different products. Why? Because the pricing is there different, right? So in this case, the fridge or refrigerator itself is taking a call with respect to stocking. Why? Because it has some sense of saving mechanisms, that okay, if I order this kind of products, I will save. Or let me not order this today, maybe next tomorrow when Wednesday is there or Thursday is there, the orders will be less cheaper and so on. I can do that, right? Again, these are very primitive, but can you think about some very powerful use cases?
So at Samsung, when I was part of the product consumer team from a marketing standpoint, they had showcased, demonstrated an IoT ecosystem where the refrigerator, as you said, takes a stock of the products. It also suggests what can be made. That functionality gets transferred to the microwave. The process is that you need to just create whatever you want of it and put it into the microwave and the food gets ready. So they had completely automated that ecosystem starting from the fridge to microwave and that connected. And it was also connected on your phone. So you would get prompts on your phone that your food is ready, or you need to stock this up, or this is getting rotten, or you need to eat this first. So all those ecosystems and prompts one could get on the phone, and you could also get it remotely while you are away and not necessary at home, because it was connected through the 5G and the Wi-Fi at home.
Okay, fine. Okay, that's good. So that's kind of ecosystem development and all that. But I am talking about the marketing perspective. Now, if your platform is talking to the fridge directly, and this is all platform pattern dependent, and then you can say, okay, both of them stakeholders are kind of IoTs itself, right? Or intelligent agents itself. So I can, if I know what is there in the stock, right, and what I wanted to push it, and for that I give some kind of promotional coupon based on the ordering pattern of the fridges, right? So I can do some kind of push marketing to the fridges. Why? Because the refrigerators know that how many days they can store, right? And this information is also there with the platforms, that how the fridge or refrigerators are ordering. So I can customize for the refrigerators in terms of stocking. Why? So that I can cater more and more refrigerators. Now it's not the humans which are ordering, by the way, right? Now two machines are talking to each other. Now this will be the next level of intelligence. Okay, this seems like little bit, I would say, sci-fi, but this is what is going to happen. Okay, let me give you another example, another to build this one, and that is not coming from the marketing side. This is coming from demand and supply side. Now we are getting, over a period of time, we are getting smart meters. Okay, and that means this they are directly getting information transfer exchanges from the grid, which is called a smart grid. Now smart meters may have the flexibility of billing based on the load. So during the peak time, maybe the billing to the smart meters will be higher, but during the non-peak time, the billing will be less. Now, the moment you have this kind of smart meter, you will get machines which can talk to the smart meters, right? Now, those machines will operate based on the billing cycle or billing value of the smart meter. So if you have put a washing machine with clothes and all that, the washing machine will not operate directly. Rather, it will wait for the time when the prices of the electricity is low. Then I will perform my task, right? So many of these tasks, which are kind of batch mode tasks, can be done on the pricing. Okay. So that is an end-to-end integration, and because of which overall cost will come down. The same will apply to this fridge as well as this platform. Just think about platform as a salesman, AI-driven salesman, and just think about this refrigerator as the clients. Okay, knowing that what kind of refrigerators are there, okay, and their ordering pattern, I will provide the discount as well as promotional activities. Okay, and this will be a typical marketing. Okay, I can also do the profiling. Knowing that what pricing of the fridge is there, I can get to know about some kind of, I would say, behavioral pattern of the user itself. That okay, what kind of demographic profile he may be in. So what kind of products he would like to buy in, and that information I can also pass on to my operation, and that will bring down my cost. Okay. So because of the IoT, the information that is being passed to the platform, our next level of AI-driven marketing can be done, which is right now the rule-based. So you can think about going towards a theory of mind kind of thing as a part of the platform itself, right? So if I say because of IoT, the platforms are becoming customer-centric, that can be justified. Why it is customer-centric? Because we have now clear pattern in the data, right? Now just look at here. Okay. Now moving from product based to service based. Okay. With the help of IoT driven thing, we are moving towards the service based models, right? Ajay, by the way, given a choice, which model you will prefer? Product based or service based?
Service based.
Why service based?
You could choose to exit out of the service any point of time. With product, there is an upfront cost that comes across.
See, assume product or service based is just a revenue model. You already have the same thing. You wanted to make revenue by selling a product, or you wanted to make revenue by selling a service?
By selling a service.
Okay. Why?
It will be repetitive as compared to a product which could be one time.
Product is kind of box selling, one time. every time you will require more efforts. Okay, every time you have to face competition. Services model is continuous revenue stream model, isn't it? So they are your existing customers, they are using your services, right? That's one. So your revenue streams are more disciplined. Second is services model may end up to higher consumption because it can fulfill uh, the ad hoc demands, okay, which cannot be fulfilled that easily by products. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So let me give you example. Suppose I have one AC in my house. For 7 days, guests are coming during the summers. Am I going to buy AC for them for 7 days? Obviously, no. But I would like to have, if possible, that if I can get, maybe I will pay say 200 rupees per day for AC. I would like to have for 7 days. So there was a demand. Demand is not fulfilled because I do not want to buy a 50,000 product. But had it been an option of okay, just put this AC and have this 1400 rupees for 7 days, I would have done it. So ad hoc demand is being fulfilled at higher rate with the services. So services model is always more in the consumption. Why? Because the price to pay the service instant is low. Over a period of time, you will end up paying more. Okay, because you fill all those ad hoc demands. So services model is more on the consumption based model. Okay, and that is why you see the cloud computing has come up. Cloud computing is pure services model. So IT products have become IT services, all of them. And because of which everybody can use it because you have to pay only for the service. That's it. So in general, services model is more consumption oriented, is more, I would say, repetitive. Also, when it is a continuous relationship, higher chances are there for cross-sell and upsell. Right? Are you fine with me, all of you? Any contradiction, any dispute, more than welcome. Right. Now, can you see these Y's, right? So one is customer engagement, another is revenue, right? I'm assuming that higher level of customer engagement will result into higher revenue, right? And the IoT capabilities over a period of time will create higher engagement, right? And the data which is coming up and through which what kind of analytics I will use, that will create more, customer engagement as well as in turn that will create more revenue for me. So I just want higher customer engagement, right? Fine. Anybody would like to decode this? Assume this is a product, assume this is an air conditioned product. So I have options. I can use it as standalone without IoT. Then this is the second stage, some IoT capabilities where the data transfer is happening to my platform in terms of the usage, then product for value added, then platform as a service, the highest form. Anybody would like to decode this? What is this figure all about?
Oh, so can we just say when we are expanding beyond just selling products and we club it with service, so we are just giving a sort of package to the customer,
Okay.
and definitely your revenue would go up because you're selling not just product but service also now. And
That customer should buy the service, right?
yeah, and that totally depends on the quality of service we are providing. And especially in industry where the product requires maintenance more often, the after sales service has a huge impact. So I think that is also one area, if as a company or any product that's being sold in the market, if in terms of service you are there, then your customer will definitely come back to you.
Okay, fine. So just try to build up in terms of the data capabilities, right? So standalone product, I don't have any operating data with respect to my customers, right?
Right.
So I'm just selling them and they're just using it. So we have limited interactions. Based on that, I rectify their issues and all that. When I say this is having some IoT capabilities, so there is a platform which is dedicated platform and which is capturing the data in terms of the usage, in terms of the location, in terms of anything else, right? So I can provide them product plus remote
And
support.
remote support.
Yes, remote support. What is that?
So basically, so the second stage, I believe, is a smart AC with a Wi-Fi, where it allows certain customer data to be captured, which is checked remotely, and the customer support, when you call, they can give you a solution for that.
Yeah, so they will not ask customers to, okay, tell me whether this is
Correct.
leaking or
They will
not.
already have the error code or anything. In the third stage, I believe.
No, but let me finish it off. The second one. Is there any gain? Because the platform will come with a cost. Huh? Data capture will happen with a cost. You have to maintain a platform. So what is the benefit to the customer or to the company, for
The
example?
company is able to better enhance its future products in the market. They know what is the error code coming, what is the temperature that what people are using at, and they're getting more data points for enhancing their products.
Okay, so one is they get feedback for their product. So content. This is the content of the Netflix.
Correct.
Right? This is the content of the Netflix, right? That's one. Second, if there's some issue, then they have to send their engineer. Okay. So there's a cost, there'll be cost to have it, whether it's a paid one or free, but there's a cost to send an engineer. Okay. That cost is gone. Why? Because you already have the data. So the first visit of the engineer is useless because they will just identify what is the issue. Okay. Also, it saves the time for the customer that, okay, you know what is the issue, right? So data gave you some kind of benefit here. Next level. Can I do some kind of value-add services as a part of my marketing campaign with the help of this data?
Yes.
And you can think about many VAS services.
Correct.
So with the data, how I can build some VAS? This is one example for this. Now, whatever I give as a kind of fruit example, you can think about implementing in your domain. I don't know what you're doing, right? So what kind of VAS you can think about it?
So filter change alerts in the AC, and there could be other.
I would say this is vast, but I agree to this, right? This is vast. Okay. But whether because of this vast, can you build some kind of revenue additional here? You have to also think about you making some money. But that's vast, right? Value-added services, right? You are giving all those alarms to the customer and all that. Okay. Indirectly, what your example is that, okay, if you give the alert, then some people may be willing to take your services for cleaning the filter and all that because they don't have the kind of capability or doing the service and all that, right? Okay. What else you can do is, okay, you can use this data to sell your or to promote your AMCs, right? So AMCs are very important for companies, and AMCs can make very many companies to be very profitable. One of the very good example of AMCs is ROs. 1/3 of the price as AMC, which costs them nothing, peanuts. They make huge profit in AMCs, right? Now here you can say, I have, say, 1 lakh customers, out of which I will offer 20% discount to only 1,000 customers or 2,000 customers. Why? Because I know their probability of failure is very low. So even if I price 30% low, which will prompt them to buy it, but I will make profit out of it. So I have done the clustering or grouping, some kind of descriptive analytics, right? And those who are going to consume more, I'm not going to give them AMC at a lower cost. Why? Because I know this is a loss-making proposition. Now, this is ethical and unethical, I don't know. Why? People complain about health insurances or term insurance companies of having premium which is varied. Someone who is having some diseases, he will get a very high premium on the term insurance, right? Because the probability is all probabilities, right? So I mean, uh, and some people may not even get the health insurance. Is it good or bad? What is the purpose of health insurance? To cover people with respect to any, you know, healthcare expenses. Now, knowing that you will require healthcare insurance, I am not going to protect you. No, ethical and unethical. That debate is already going. Not that acute here, but similar kind of thing, right? They can do that. Okay, I will not do a kind of standard one. Rather, I will customize. So value add service. So even if I am able to convert 10% or 20% of the customers to buy my VAS with respect to the lower pricing, then that's a saving because anyways I know they are not going to fail. Okay. Fourth one, platform as a service. And this is one VAS. You can think about more, sir. How can I convert the relationship to platform as a service? Still, it is product.
So, wherein the integration happens with third party, for example, at home now, devices are getting connected to Alexa or Google Home, or where you're controlling the device and you're giving the user experience, and automatically it takes your home temperature, and then automatically it creates an ambient temperature within the home without any user interface.
Okay. So this is automation, but this is not precisely platform as a service. This is full service model. That okay, I am going to give you AC for free. Okay. And you have to pay only for the usage. Right? Why? Because I know that how much you are using. And I will bill you accordingly. In this case, the consumption will be high. But again, whether this is a right example to build on.
How about
With respect
Swiggy?
to, yeah, so
And
platform as a service means whenever I want, I will use it, else I will not use it. So in order to make a platform as a service model, you really require enabling technology, right? So when you want to plug in, when you want to plug out. In this case, what is that enabling technology? So that the ACs can be moved very easily in terms of platform as a service. One is okay, you end up building houses where there are inbuilt ACs everywhere, right?
The HVAC unit
Yes,
is there.
yes, everywhere. You use and pay, use and pay, use and pay. Second enabling technology, which is actually coming up, and that goes as an input to the product design. What is the main problem with the current ACs? Setup cost. And that is preventing them to be used across different locations. For example, I want AC for 5 days, but for 5 days I have to, put that, right? I have to do a setup, which is costly. Okay. What about having ACs which requires minimal setup or which are what to say
Portable
movable ACs or removable ACs, right? Or mobile ACs where fitting or setup is not a problem. Okay, so I have all these ACs here and in my warehouse, and wherever you want I can put in. So you have two ACs which are permanently fitted and maybe one or two whenever their guests are coming. So I have some ACs which are moving up. This will increase the consumption. Okay. And also for the organization, the overall cost is less. Why? Because they are working with the same number of ACs and they are reusing it, right? So services model is also less costly model of the organization because it promotes the reusement, right? So the same cost is going to be there. So, and if that is being done practically, then it can convert to the platform model where you do not pay for the AC, rather pay AC as a service. Okay. Let me give you another example which can relate more. If I want if I want to convert car to car as a service model.
The car lease. is there?
For the car model, there is actually an example, the
Uber
MG
is already there.
cars. So MG cars, you can buy an electric car, and then for the battery, you can actually pay per usage.
Okay,
Would
that is there. That is there. But which technology will make? So I will not. So, but that even then, the ownership of the car is there with me.
Oh.
What I'm saying is, perfectly platform as a service model. I want this car today. It is there. So first of all, why it is important in terms of revenue? So if car as a service is coming, whether the consumption will increase or not.
I think I have a perfect example. The electric e-bikes that a lot of these delivery people use, that is basically on a subscription model. You can download the app, pay for usage. So
Even
that's platform and
Avis,
service.
Avis and all those are subscription based.
Zoom cars.
Zoom cars,
Correct.
spinny
See,
anyways, the
just think
old
like
cars.
this. Which technology will make or will trigger car as a service model excessively? Self-driving cars. Have my words. The moment we have perfect self-driving cars, people will not buy cars. The reason is why people buy car? So that they get freedom. Whenever they want, they can use their cars. Right? Car is there with them. The moment you have self-driving cars, the car companies can put cars nearby locations. Okay, at any point of time, you book your car and car is there. Okay, so car is there whenever you want. This one, even at 1 a.m. in the night, it is there because there's no problem in terms of getting people or driver who is going to drive. Second, people have their own car because they want privacy. Okay, if driver is there every time, then you know they cannot talk. So self-driving car will not have that issue also. Safety
It will
issues.
listen, sir. It will still listen. Alexa is already listening.
So that
That's
privacy
very
already
true.
that privacy already compromised on, right? And that you have compromised well before. The moment you said yes to Gmail with
Correct.
respect to all services, that privacy is not there. The only thing is how they can use it. That can only be controlled. But data will be there for with them for sure. Okay. So that's why AI governance is another thing which should be there as a part of it, right? Now, safety issues. At 1 a.m., maybe I am afraid to have a car with a driver, but self-driving car, I'm fine with it. Okay. Not only that, it will increase the consumption. I can afford as a capital cost, I can afford say uh, uh, a car of worth say maybe Honda Amaze or Honda City, right? But because it's consumption model, today I'm going to travel with Audi. Tomorrow I will travel with Mercedes. Okay, a day after tomorrow, maybe again I am back to Creta and so on. So this will increase the consumption. Right. So as a service model, this will be more profitable. And that's what is going to be in terms of the future of, I would say, car services, right? Where the companies, the big companies will not sell cars, rather they will sell car as a service, right? And significant amount of revenue will come from the data which is being collected, right, by the cars which are highly automated, which will capture each and every data point and then building on some of the models, right? So for example, as a user, where are you going? Okay, which locality you are staying? Okay, what activities are involving in? Okay, that will decide your potential, and this data can be given to other marketing advertisement companies to push for next level of products, right? So connected data will create more opportunities and all that. Is it fine? So this is all from my side in terms of kind of AI and ML introduction. I've not covered very technical things purposefully, right? So that it doesn't lose out on the kind of flavor we are looking for, right? Next session, we'll be jumping to another related concept, which is called big data and all that. Again, we'll look for some of the use cases of it. Okay. I will also show you example where the data is being used to run the ads on social medias and all that, right? And that's it. Fine. So yeah, if you have time, you can go through, I think there's a case study also. Yeah, so the case study thing, voila, is there in 7 and 8, but we have a topic, or I would say we have a, this thing, this is what article, right? If you have time, you can go through that. I have given the link also. Okay, is it fine? Can we stop here?
Yes, sir.
I am tired and retired for today. Fine. Let's meet next week.
Yes. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Bye.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone.
Right, sir.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
I will.